All right, my people, welcome to another episode of Just Reasoning. As we talk about the things that are going on in our world that we need to discuss and reason about. Um, so today's reason is about the Stacey Dash thing. For those who don't know, Stacey Dash, actress, black actress, um, made a statement the other day in response to there's a boycott that is going on of the Oscar Awards, which has traditionally been, white central. Black people have never really gotten their due respect for, movies and directors and producers and writers and all that. So it's kind of the Super Bowl of Hollywood. And so Jada Pinkett Smith made a video, saying that, we should basically boycott this thing. They've made it clear over the years that it's an all for them and not for us. So they asked Stacey Dash about it, and I've seen her over the years. I know she comes from a real conservative kind of viewpoint on many things. That's fine. I'm fine with having diverse amount of thoughts on many things. The key word there being thought. So in her response to this, obviously she's not with the boycott, right? Despite she's not with the boycott. So she says in her response, we have to decide whether we want integration or we want segregation. Referencing like BET and Image Awards and such other events which are viewed up as black only, though they're not mandatory black only. So that's kind of my main issue. Besides, whatever you feel about the boycott, how effective it is or not, whether we should be doing it, that's one thing. The statement about do we want integration or segregation, because BET still exists and I guess HBCU still exists and National Association of Black Journalists still exists and these other organizations, yes, they do exist. What her entire statement missed is the context of these organizations. Why was BET started to begin with? Why was it necessary to have historically black colleges and universities? Why was it necessary to have all these other award shows? Think about it, young lady. It is because historically black people have been shut out of such endeavors. HBCUs were started because we couldn't go to their schools. So we started that. BET was started to showcase entertainment that was not going to get play on any of their networks. It wasn't that videos and music videos weren't, right now it's no big deal for hip hop. Hip hop is kind of mainstream nowadays. Back in those days, back in the early 80s, it wasn't commonplace to hear hip hop on, a mainstream radio station or on MTV, a video station of that day. So we had to start our own. So all of these organizations that you hear about, such of black or whatever, it's because we have been forcefully shut out of these industries. So to me, that her whole reasoning about that just lacked thought. It's almost like she came into 2016 at age 49. It's like she was born yesterday, and has no context of why these organizations exist. They exist because they are necessary. Because people have a closed mind in many ways. So as far as the boycott is concerned, look, it's not my industry, but I understand it. I heard some people say, it's just an award, it's just an award. Okay, it may be an award. I have a few points on that. There is a lot, but at the end of the day, it's about business, right? To reference somebody as Oscar Award winning or nominee director or producer or actor adds a couple zeros to what they would normally get. So it's not just about an award. It is something that adds to their value. Okay, so that's one aspect, and it's not just an award. But with that said, Here's my feeling, and I felt this way about awards of any kind, right? Whether it be Grammy Awards, Oscar Awards, Emmy Awards, or what have you. It's somebody's opinion, right? It doesn't validate you as an artist. It doesn't validate you as in whatever you do that somebody felt it necessary to give you an award. Do your own thing. I mean, just as myself in our own personal business endeavors, it doesn't really matter to be awarded for something. Your award and your reward is, are you supported, right? So if you make a movie and it doesn't sell much, then that's the validation that people didn't think it was that good. You don't necessarily need somebody to say you win this award. The award will come by the reward you get at the box office. So there are enough black people in the entertainment business and sports business, or what have you, you know in the music business, where we don't need their validation, right? So if you make a movie and you know it's sold out, millions and millions of dollars sold out straight out of Compton, for example. I don't know the numbers, but I know that movie did very well. That's not the type of movie that will win an Oscar. So if it doesn't, so be it. The validation you got by it was your people coming to the theater and buying tickets weekend after weekend after weekend, buying the DVD, all that. That's all the validation you need. So with that said, I do think it is a battle. These are all battles worth fighting. It might not be my battle, but we should pursue equal representation in that industry. And there's so many points that come out as a result of this, because what the Oscar award thing really came down to is just a lack of representation, right? The people who voted on these awards, they have a certain type of movie that they want to see. Now, I'm not saying necessarily a white movie, right? For whatever that is, a white movie. They have a certain you can kind of know what type of movies are going to win Oscar awards. And for me, as someone who's not really a big movie person, they're typically never movies that I like, never. But essentially, what was missing from this, what this brought to light, is just lack of representation, lack of diversity with the voting block of the people who give out Oscar awards, right? I don't remember the numbers exactly, but it's something like about 94% of the amount of people who vote on the Oscar awards were white men. It's or definitely non-black, right? So if you have everybody from a certain type of perspective with a certain type of life experience, then they like certain type of things. So anything that does not fit their little box of what is good quality entertainment won't get an award. So I go, right? It's why diversity is important. I mean, I hear people occasionally take shots at diversity, diversity initiatives, within businesses and corporations and what have you. Why is it important? It's important because if you have a diverse set of thought, people of different ethnicities, from different nationalities, genders, socioeconomic backgrounds, these people come with a different frame of mind. You put all of that together, you get diverse thoughts, and it's important, right? So, with my final point is important of speaking up. Right, so this has been going on forever with the Oscar awards and with other things, and too often we don't say anything because we're like, that's just the way it is. It will never change. What Jada Pinkett Smith did by making that video, which then started this boycott, and more importantly, started the conversation. Right, the biggest thing that came out of that is that I saw something on the news the other day that they have voted the Oscar committee to like double the amount of I don't know, African American or non-white representation that they have on the board, by 2020. Okay, some say it's too, that's too far along. Whatever they do and whatever the decision is, the important thing is she spoke up for something that many have felt for years, but hey, that's just the way it is. What if I say anything? What difference is it going to make? But her speaking up started this conversation. I guarantee they wouldn't have made that decision had she not said anything. Yes, she's not just any old person. She happens to be in the entertainment business, and she's, the wife of one of the biggest box office draws in the entertainment industry. So she has a platform. Well, we all have a platform. But she is one person with one voice that decided, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm going to say something. And we're going to start a movement, and this is going to bring about a change. So there are so many lessons to be learned from this, but diversity matters. Stacey Dash, get a history book. Get a history book. The world didn't just start yesterday. You have better sense than this. So that's as nice as I will state that. But as always, man, it's so much going on in our world, and it's something that it's good for us to discuss these issues and make it go beyond a discussion. These discussions are important, but more importantly, actions are important. So as we're blazing a fire now with Dre Island running some music in the background. And until next time, my people, this is Just Reason and C-Dub signing out, mysoulrebel.com. Bless up, one love.